Good morning, class. Today we're going to be using Story Map. Story Map is a graphic organizer that we're going to be using for our reading. We can use it before or after our reading. And what it does is that it sets up the way that the story will be going. So we'll be dealing with settings, characters, the plot, the resolution. So here is our graphic organizer. As you can see, it says Story Map 1. It provides setting, the characters, the problems, the plot, and the resolution. So as we go through the story and as we're reading, we need to keep these things in mind so we know where we need to look in the story to answer or write notes in our graphic organizer for today. The reason that I'm using or selected the graphic organizer is because it's an organized way for the students to understand what they're looking for, the elements of the story. And so when they're reading, they'll be able to, understand, okay, I need to look for a setting. And since the first thing on the paper is setting, they're going to read the story and already know, okay, I need to look for setting. So while they're reading it, they keep these things in mind and they can always go back to the story later on. And when they're using the graphic organizer, write it in. So it provides a structure for them of what they need to look for. And it also tells them these are the elements of the story that we're reading, which is something that they're going to continue to use throughout reading as they get older. It'll just be automatic. They don't have to think about it. They'll already be like, oh, I already know where the setting is and I know who the characters are. But since we're focusing on a younger group, these are things that need to be taught to them. And this provides a tangible physical form that they can see and understand, okay, this is what I need to look at first. So in order to use this in a cooperative group setting, what we would do, or what I would start off with first, is we would read the story together. So we would read the story together before I even introduce the graphic organizer. The story would already be read. Then we'll continue, maybe in another session the next day, we'll read the story again with popcorn reading. And then after popcorn reading, I will have them, if they're not already split into groups per table, I'll have them split into groups and paired off. So with this graphic organizer, the story map, I would direct the students to say, okay, each student in your group is going to select one or two parts. So this student's going to have settings, this student's going to have the characters, this student's going to have the problem. So each student is going to select, so let's say, problem might be a little more in depth. So maybe two students can do problem while another student is doing setting, another student is doing characters. And so what I want for the students to do is kind of like a jigsaw. I want the student to go, okay, find the setting. He's going to write the setting on his paper. Then another student's going to go, I'm going to get all the characters. He's going to write all the characters, main characters, or just all the characters in general. Another student's going to be like, okay, I'm going to go do this. So once they all have their individual category done, they're going to go together and be like, okay, this is what I found in the book and this is where this is setting. So they're going to take turns explaining to each other what they found in the book and why this is the setting, why this is the characters, why this is the plot, why this is the resolution. And they can come together, discuss it, and then each of them write on their graphic organizers what they learned about it. And then that kind of creates the discussion of the story as well, and it makes it cooperative. So in order to facilitate or monitor the classroom, I will be walking around, circulating where the groups are to, listen and observe, and also make sure the students know that I'm there for support. So if they have questions, I'm available. They can ask me. If I see that a student is straying, I can get them back on task. So I just want to walk around and guide the students as they're going through the graphic organizer, observe them. If I see that a group is, struggling a little more, I can intervene and help them. But I would, facilitate and monitor just by walking around and listening and observing to see where they need my help.